Hello and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Imana Amawe. On the show today, African Development Bank says Africa GDP at 4.0% this year. Sudan's inflation hit 72.9% in December. Plus, Saudi Arabia plans oil refinery and petrochemicals plant in South Africa. But first, let's see the markets. Well, amongst the markets we track here on the show, only the Egyptian market is closed, and the EGX 30 ended the trading week down 0.20%. And here in Nigeria, the equities market, which has had a bullish run this week, slowed at intraday down to 0.15%. The JSE index in South Africa was up 0.50%, while Kenya traded in the green on Thursday. And now markets in the Middle East ended the week on a positive note on Thursday as gains were recorded across all the markets. The Dubai stock market was up 0.64%, while Saudi Arabia's market went up 0.49%. Qatar was up 0.24%, while the Abu Dhabi market closed marginally. And in Europe, stocks moved higher in early trade today after a report of progress on the U.S.-China trade talks had raised hopes of a breakthrough in their long-running dispute. For more from the European space, let's join Daniel Coop. Hello, Daniel. Theresa May is just a few days from her plan B for the UK leaving the bloc. Are there any more details we can get from this? Well, we'll be joining Daniel much later on in the show when we reconnect to him. Let's move over to Asia, where the Pacific markets traded mostly higher as investors shared a report saying American officials may be weighing the possibility of easing tariffs on China in a bid to push forward the trade talks. That optimism lifted shares in the Greater China region, with Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rising 1.14% in late afternoon trade. And on the Chinese mainland, the Shanghai Composite gained 1.4% to 2,596.01, while the Shenzhen Composite and the Shenzhen Component both advanced. In Japan, the Nikkei 225 added 1.29% to 20,666.07, while the Topix Index was up 0.93% at 1,557.59. South Korea's KOSPI gained 17.22 points. That's about 0.82% to 2,124.28. And over in Australia, the benchmark ASX 200 notched up 0.5% to 5,879.6, with all the sectors rising. While over at Wall Street, the stocks futures pointed to a higher open this morning as investors digested reports that President Donald Trump's administration could reduce tariffs imposed on China. As of 5 a.m. Eastern Time, the Dow futures indicated a positive open of more than 80 points. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq futures were also higher. Meanwhile, with the earnings season in full swing, investors will be watching out for results from Schlumberger, the Citizens Finsol, State Street, and SunTrust. In terms of economic data, there will be industrial production figures out at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and consumer sentiment numbers are due at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. While I'm away from Wall Street, back here on the continent, the Africa Development Bank has launched its 2019 African Economic Outlook, which focuses on regional integration for economic prosperity. The Development Bank says Africa's economy will continue to grow as it projects GDP to accelerate to 4.0% this year and 4.1% by 2020. Well, some of the things from the report show that industry, for development to subsist on the continent, industry also needs to development. That report is one that we are following here on the program, and we'll bring you up to speed as the days go by. Well, poverty is said to be widespread here in Nigeria despite decades of high oil revenues. In June 2018, the country overtook India in a global extreme poverty ranking. But hopefully, things may change soon as the government is deliberating on an increase in the minimum wage.
28-year-old Jasola Taiwo has been selling street food in a neighborhood in Lagos, Nigeria for the past 3 years, but says she still lives from hand to mouth. Jasola is just one of the 86.9 million, or 50% of Nigeria's population, that the World Poverty Clock says are living in extreme poverty. Jasola and her husband, a bus driver, have 3 children.
After we take out money for our food, pay the children's school fees and all the suppliers we buy supplies from, there is nothing left to save, not even 500 naira.
Go home or you join us.
Nigeria's Labour Congress has spent recent months trying to get the country's government to increase the minimum wage, which is currently 18,000 naira, an equivalent of $58. The labor unions are now asking for a baseline of 30,000 naira, $98, after the government refused their initial request of 50,000 naira, $164. To put it in perspective, a sack of rice, one of Nigeria's staples, cost about 18,000 naira. That's an equivalent of $58. A Nigerian senator caused an outcry when he revealed last year that some lawmakers received about 13 million naira, an equivalent of $37,500 each month, to spend on personal expenses. 35-year-old Awuna Godwin lives in the capital, Abuja, and has worked with the civil service for about 8 years. He says he currently takes home more than the minimum, but that he can't afford to properly stock his larder.
Considering the plight of workers in the country, especially the local government staff, state government staff, it should not be a thing of debate over this increment. We expect the government to push up and bring up a tangible increment.
Analysts say poverty in Africa is increasingly concentrated in a few countries, which also have some of the fastest growing populations in the world. They project that by 2050, more than 40% of the world's extremely poor people will live in just 2 countries, Democratic Republic of the Congo and Nigeria.